So now we come to the schemes. Schemes are time-bound programs. Or the government of India at all levels announces welfare schemes for all cross sections of the society. And these schemes could be either central level, state specific, or joint collaboration between the center and the states. The schemes related to planning or relevant to planning are in the sectors such as housing, urban development, digital India, skill development and livelihood generation, education, environmental protection, etc. So let us understand the various schemes as per a timeline. We start with the latest scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Housing for All, from 2015 to 2022. It is slated to complete. Then as we go back the timeline, we see there is Rajiv Awas Yojana, or RAY, R-A-Y, from 2013 it had started. Then there was National Urban Information System in 2006, the Urban Infrastructure Development Scheme for Small and Medium Towns, UIDSMT, 2005, Valmiki Ambedkar Awas Yojana, or VAMBE, in 2001, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, or PMAY, is basically housing for all, which within the time frame of 2015 to 2022, and the objectives of PMAY are to facilitate adoption of modern, innovative and green technologies and building material for faster and quality houses or shelter, to facilitate preparation and adoption of layout designs and building plans suitable for various geoclimatic zones. The objectives are also to assist the states and the cities in deploying disaster resistant and environment friendly technologies. The coverage of this scheme is all statutory towns and census towns as per census 2011. So the target group was people below poverty line, living in rural areas, belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, freed bonded laborers and non-SC/ST categories. And the funding pattern was the sharing between center and states in the ratio of 60-40 in the plain areas, and the 90-10 in the hilly areas, including Northeast, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Continuing with the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, let us see the implementation methodology. As you can understand, it was a centrally sponsored scheme except for the component of credit-linked subsidy. And as you can see from this figure, there are these various verticals, 4 verticals, and one is about in situ slum redevelopment, second is about affordable housing through credit-linked subsidy, third is on affordable housing through partnership, and the fourth is subsidy for beneficiary-led individual house construction or enhancement. Coming to the Rajiv Awas Yojana, or RAY, we see that the vision of RAY was to make India slum-free by 2022, and it was also a centrally sponsored scheme with 1 million beneficiaries to be covered under this scheme, and about nearly 32,000 crores earmarked for its implementation in the 12th plan. And the objectives were to cover all slums, notified or non-notified, provide basic housing, civic infrastructure, social amenities to the slum, and create affordable housing stock so that as to prevent the growth of slums. To facilitate institutional credit for the urban poor, a two-step implementation strategy was adopted in the scheme that is pertaining to RAY. One is preparation of slum-free city plans of action that would include investment requirements for improving slums and the civic infrastructure, and housing plans that would be provided to the urban poor for the next 10 to 15 years. And the second step was preparation of detailed project reports or DPRs for specific slums, as preparation of slum-free city plans of action would take time for the states and UTs, and thus the DPRs would concern one slum at a time, while slum-free city plans of action would cover the entire city. You can see from this figure or the framework for implementation of RAY. At the national level, there was this National Steering Committee under Minister for Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. At the state level, there was State Level Sanctioning and Monitoring Committee under the Chief Minister. At the city level, there was City Level Mission under the Mayor or Chairman of the urban local body. And at the community level, there were self-help groups and area-level federations created under National Urban Livelihood Mission. National Urban Information System was launched in 2006 by the Ministry of Urban Development with the aim of developing GIS databases for about 150 cities and towns in the country at two scales, that is at 1:10,000 and 1:. The components of this National Urban Information System was to map as a part of special information, generating special information database for the cities. Then there was the establishment of National Urban Information System cells, then to generate a National Urban Data Bank and capacity building. And the implementing agency was Survey of India, then state nodal agencies, town and country planning organization. The phase 1 of NUIS, that is National Urban Information System, covered 137 priority towns to develop GIS database and the urban data bank. And the indicators were developed under the National Urban Observatory, and utility mapping was also done using ground profiling and radars for 24 towns. The phase 2 expanded the scope to cover another 1500 towns in the year from 2007 to 2009. And the phase 3 expanded and covered the rest of the towns, about 3000, in the remaining period of the 11th plan, that is from 2009 to 2012. Urban Infrastructure Development Scheme for Small and Medium Towns, that is UIDSMT, was launched in 2005 with the aim of improvement in urban infrastructure in towns and cities in a planned manner. The objectives were to improve infrastructure facilities and help create durable public assets and quality-oriented services in urban areas. Also to enhance public-private partnership in infrastructure development and to promote planned integrated development of UIDSSMT, that is Urban Infrastructure Development Scheme for Small and Medium Towns, sanctioned nearly 800 projects from 2005 to 2011, and with an estimated cost about 13,000 crores, and the additional central assistance or extra funds from the center was about 10,500 crores. UIDSMT approved 418 projects related to water supply, followed by 110 projects involving roads and flyovers. Soil preservation and parking projects were low on the list, with only one project being approved. Highest number of projects was approved by Maharashtra, followed by Andhra Pradesh, worth about 2,700 crores and 2,500 crores respectively. As I was referring to VAMBE earlier, VAMBE is Valmiki Ambedkar Awas Yojana, launched in 2001, which is an integrated approach to improve or to reduce the bad conditions of urban slum dwellers, or poor conditions of urban slum dwellers who did not possess adequate shelter and resided in dilapidated conditions. The objectives of VAMBE, that is Valmiki Ambedkar Awas Yojana of 2001, were to provide shelter or upgrade the existing shelter for people living below poverty line in urban slums with a view to achieve the goal of shelter for all. The second objective was to achieve the goal of the Habitat Conference of slum-free cities. The other objectives were to provide a healthy and enabling urban environment so as to help them to overcome the situation of poverty. To dovetail VAMBE with the other missions and schemes, that is National Skill Development Program NSDP and Swan Jayanti Shahri Rozgar Yojana, that is SJSRY, to ensure that shelter delivery, environment improvement and income upgradation for the urban poor is achieved. The target groups were the slum dwellers in urban areas who are below the poverty line, including members of the economically weaker section who did not possess adequate shelter. The Swan Jayanti Shahri Rozgar Yojana of 1997, as I was referring to, had the aim of providing employment to the urban unemployed or underemployed poor through encouraging the setting up of self-employment ventures or provision of wage-based employment. SJSRY, that is the scheme, Swan Jayanti Shahri Rozgar Yojana, consisted of two special schemes, that is the Urban Self-Employment Program or USEP and the Urban Wage-Based Employment Program, that is UWEP, and it was applicable to all urban settlements, that is cities and towns in India, and the funding was planned to be cost sharing basis between center and states in the ratio of 75 to 25. This scheme was implemented as a centrally sponsored scheme for the benefit of urban poor on all India basis for the entire country. The target of this scheme was to skill train 500 million persons by 2022. A significant component of the population who are shelterless, who are footpath dwellers. So for them, the scheme of providing night shelter for urban shelterless was started from 1988 to 2005. That was the time period which was planned. The aim was to provide night shelter and sanitation facilities to the footpath dwellers. And this scheme was in operation since 1988 to 89. It was a demand-driven scheme and implementation was undertaken by the state government or urban local bodies or state-sponsored agencies. The scheme has been discontinued since 2005. The Indira Awas Yojana or IAY was launched during 85 to 96 as a sub-scheme of Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program or RLEGP which began in 1983. And IAY therefore continued thereafter. IAY thereafter continued as a sub scheme of Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, that is JRY, since it was launched in April 1989. The objectives were to help construction of dwelling units by members of scheduled castes or scheduled tribes, then freed bonded laborers, and also non-SC/ST rural poor below the poverty line by providing them with grant in aid. The target group of this yojana or scheme were people below poverty line living in dilapidated and kacha houses, with a component for providing sites for housing to the landless poor. Coming to the funding pattern, one sees that there was a sharing between the center and states. Center was uh, giving 75% and states 25%. Union territories, uh, in case of union territories, the entire funds were provided by the center, and in case of northeastern states, the funding ratio was higher, um, for center, that is 90% center provided and states provided 10%.